Good afternoon. This is Saturday, the 31st day of July, 2021. I'd like to share with you two stories of holy men from the past, one from the 20th century and one from the late 15th and early 16th centuries. I'd like to start with the more contemporary one, Solanus Casey, who was born in 1870 and died in 1957. Solanus Casey, the son of Irish immigrants in Wisconsin, felt called to be a priest after witnessing a drunken sailor stabbing a woman. Somehow, this scene of sin and suffering caused him to dedicate himself to God and to promote God's love as the answer to the world's troubles. After joining the Capuchin Franciscans, he was ordained a priest, but in light of academic difficulties, his superiors placed restrictions on his priestly faculties. He was not permitted to hear confessions or preach on doctrine. Instead, he spent most of his time as the porter at St. Bonaventure's Monastery in Detroit and worked in the friar's soup kitchen. Despite his humble status, Solanus' extraordinary spiritual gifts were quickly recognized. A gifted reader of souls, he became particularly renowned for his ministry of healing prayer. Scores of people sought him out each day for spiritual counsel and intercession. Dutifully, he recorded their petitions in his prayer book and promised to ask God's assistance for each of them. Even in his lifetime, hundreds of miracles and cures were attributed to his prayers. In his final illness, he remarked, "I am offering my suffering that all might be one. If only I could see the conversion of the entire world." Since his death on 31 July 1957, at the age of 86, the reports of healing miracles have continued unabated. Solanus Casey once said, "We must be faithful to the present moment, or we will frustrate the plan of God for our lives." The earlier holy person is St. Ignatius Loyola. We have a lot of places named Loyola here in Maryland and elsewhere. Ignatius was the founder of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits. He was born in 1491 and died in 1556. Íñigo López de Loyola was born to a noble Basque family in Castile. He spent his youth as a courtier and later a soldier. Trained in the code of honor and chivalry, he was ready with his sword to avenge any slight against his dignity or the interests of his master. In 1521, he was severely wounded in battle. While recovering in his family castle, he asked for something to read. All that was available was a collection of pious lives of the saints. In time, he was inspired by these stories, imagining what a great honor it must be to serve the glory of God. When he had recovered, he made a pilgrimage to the Catalonian shrine of Our Lady at Montserrat, a famous Benedictine monastery. There, after an all-night vigil, he laid his sword on the altar and became a soldier of Christ. Ignatius studied in Paris to be ordained a priest. While there, he exhorted a group of fellow students to join him in forming a new religious order dedicated to renewing and serving the church in any way their services might be required. This was the nucleus of what became the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits. The order was officially recognized in 1540, and Ignatius became its first superior general. The Jesuits soon spread throughout the globe on perilous missions to Asia, New Spain, and Protestant England, renewing the vitality of the Church through Ignatius's principles of contemplation and action. Within 15 years, the order increased from 10 members to 1,000. Ignatius died on July 31st, 1556. He wrote, "Act as if everything depends on you. Trust as if everything depends on God." Here in Maryland, the Jesuits were very important in the initial colonization of the area, and in fact the parish church of Sacred Heart here in Bowie was originally a Jesuit mission and it was there that many Jesuit endeavors were launched, including Georgetown University. You may also recall that the first Catholic bishop of Baltimore, John Carroll, whose cousin Charles was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, was born in Upper Marlborough. He also was a Jesuit. And Loyola University in Baltimore is a Jesuit institution, founded obviously by Jesuits. And so the work of the Jesuits, still the largest order in the Catholic Church, continues unabated even to this day. My Jesuit friends tend to have a rather robust friendship amongst their members, and their work is second to none as far as I can conclude, with the possible exception of my Benedictine brothers, who are often considered to be the grandparent of the Jesuits, since Ignatius had his conversion, shall we say, at Montserrat in Spain. I wish you a pleasant evening.